Good morning! How is everyone? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all, I'm so excited for this. You have no idea. I couldn't even sleep last night. I kept waking up like, is it time yet? Is it time yet? Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so today we're going to I'm just going to hop right into it. Okay, so feel free to say hi. If you have a screen name that's like different from your actual name, then you can leave your actual name there too. Especially if you're going to come back every day in the live, then I can call you by your name instead of like, Ye by Creative. I can say your actual name. So I always try to like remember those. I can go over how to start your thread just a minute and how to end it, meaning like how to do a knot or whatever. The first thing we're going to do is all of the black lines, okay? Super easy. We're going to do just a nice straight stitch for each one. And for each time that you see it interject with another line, we're going to stop our stitch there. Do you know what I mean? So we'll do one long stitch, one long stitch. Zoe here, yes, I know you. And then some of the places will kind of cheat a little bit and kind of stop beforehand. Do you know what I mean? So we've got Karen, we've got Chama. Oh, lovely. I love it. So happy to be stitching with you all. Oh, I love it when you guys are excited as I am, because I feel like I get super pumped up, especially the first day. I'm like, yeah, let's go. This is so exciting. And I'm like, wow, I'm really over the top right here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get our black thread. It's 403 from Anchor. These are the exact same threads that I showed in all the pictures. They've sent me two of each color, one bundle for each, because one for photos, and two, I was going to do a sample, but then at the last minute they were like, well, we don't really need a sample. So I have a little bit of extra here. Joanne and Crystal, good morning. We've got Ruth already. Kelly, lovely. So I like to put mine on here. It helps so that when you pull the threads out, they don't get all tangled and messy. Because I'm just not good at it. I know there's a trick, and the trick is you can pull from one end, not the other. And I believe it's to pull from the number end and not the anchor end. It might be the other way around though. But yeah, I'm just clumsy, and I just always make a big knot. So I always put them on here. So all of the ones that you'll see me using, they're exactly the same. I've just put them on the pegs. So you don't have to do this if you don't want to. If you like to keep them straight from the skein, then that's fine. Do that. But yeah, if you're like, why does hers look different? It's just because I like to put them on here. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to take a length of thread. Hi, George. And we're going to split it into 3 strands so we can do all of these greenhouse lines. So a lot of people say, what is a good length of thread? A good length of thread. Okay, so Hannah says you have to pull the long thread hanging out, and she thinks it's at the top. But every time that I do that, it gets a knot. So that's why I thought maybe it was the other one. So I just take it off the whole thing. I just take it off everything, because I can't ever do it properly, and it's not the thread's fault. Okay, it's completely me. I always get knots. I always get tangled, but that's life, yeah? So a lot of people say, what's the best length of thread? And what they recommend in cross stitch is from your elbow. I'm wearing a sweater. Okay, from your elbow, so here, to the tips of your fingers. So just that much. But that's a little bit too short for me, so I tend to double that. And then that's pretty good. But again, you need to work with what is good for you. So if you take a length and you think that's way too long, then just snip a little bit off. It's totally fine. You'll be fine. there's Jessie. Jessie comes, show it over there. That's her bowl. She likes to make herself known, so apologies for that. So yeah. Okay, so let's split some threads, yeah? The first way to split threads is to pull each thread out one by one and put all three together. So we need 3 threads, okay? So you just kind of pull them apart, slurp, slurp. God, she's just insufferable, isn't she? She's like, don't talk to them people, okay? Talk to me. So you take the one and you hold all the rest of them like this and you just pull and you get 1 strand out, okay? So we want 3 strands. So the other way you can do it, if you don't want to pull 3 strands out one by one, I've already started doing it here because I wanted to see how thick to make it. I'll do it on the other end so you can see how to do it. You just take your thread like this and pull them apart, and you can see I've got 5 strands left. Yeah? So just take 3 of the 5. Because remember, we've already pulled 1 out, so I only have 5 left. I call this the Y method because it looks like a Y, okay? And I hold it like this. And this hand kind of untwists a little bit. And I'm just pulling my right hand farther and farther away until you separate them. Like that. So either way is okay. If you wanted to take the 3 strands out, like 1 strand and then 1 strand and then 1 strand, and then put them all together to make 3, you can do that. So now we have 3 strands here and 3 strands here. Yeah? Okay. Ooh, pretty nail. Yeah, okay. So I got a little bit, I went Easter with them. Blue, purple, and pink. But I did it late at night, so I didn't do them very well. Okay, so since we have 3 strands, we're just going to thread our needle now. And I showed in the prep video at the very end how to do this. But I do it this way. You can also use a needle threader if you want to. But you just put your thread right at the very tip like this. And you use this kind of method with your needle right over the eye of your needle, which is the hole, right over the thread. And you can kind of push it through like that. Okay, I'll show you one more time because I know some people have a really hard time threading their needle. The other thing is that if one little thread is longer than all the other ones, just snip it off so they're all the same. This is all like the pre-stuff that the first video always takes a long time, you know. Okay, and then at the very end, you can either do a knot if you want to. For this one, we're definitely going to, because we're just going to make the straight lines, yeah? So 1, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you really do want to secure this. So the first way you can make a knot is to just make a loop like that and put the tail in the loop and then pull it down where you need it to go. That's a very easy way to make a knot. The other way to make a knot is the quilter's knot. So you put your needle like this and your thread over, and you hold it with your thumb like that. Okay, and you wrap your thread around. The more times you wrap it, the bigger the knot you're gonna get. So I like to do just 2, okay? And then you hold the wraps and the thread between your 2 fingers, and you pull this needle through. So you're pulling, 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 and you make a knot that way. Yeah? So it's the quilter's knot. I'll snip this one off and then show you one more time just so you can see. The only thing I don't like about this knot is that you can't move it up and down. So you do have to kind of snip off the very end if you don't get it down far enough. So you've got your 2 wraps. Yeah. Woo. Woo. I'm trying to make it shorter. 2 wraps. You can do 1 wrap too. It doesn't have to be 2, but Yeah, and pull it through. And then you've got a nice little knot at the very end. Okay, should we get stitching? I didn't give my normal caveats at the beginning, and I should probably go through them, but they're very easy. It's basically just do your best. Don't compare yourself to mine. Don't compare yourself to everyone else's. Don't get down on yourself if you fall behind. We're all here to support you. Like, we're here for you. As long as you're doing your best and you're trying your best, good. Gotcha. I learned to do this quilter's knot when I was little and always do it this way. I didn't know the name though. I've heard it called the quilter's knot, but I know some people, maybe there's a different name for it. I don't know. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to fill in all of these greenhouse. 12 minutes later, we're finally stitching. We're going to fill in all of the greenhouse lines here. So the only thing that you have to worry about is if you have white fabric like me, the black thread is easy to show behind. Do you see? So we're going to try and keep our lines doubled up on each other on the back so we don't ever have a random line in the middle where our greenhouse kind of sky white fabric should be. And it'll make more sense in a minute. So let's just start and see where we go, because we can always cut our thread and start again if we get into a pickle. And I'm going to have to take it out of my hoop stand as well. So I'm going to start over here. You can start any of the places, really. And there's lots of different ways to do this. You could do a back stitch if you wanted to and make shorter stitches. You could do, or do a whipped back stitch if you wanted to. So I'm going to go right up to there. And then up here again. I could go all the way through, but I don't want to. And we're just going to make nice long stitches for each of these. I might have to actually take it out to do the top. I don't really like doing lives when the stitching is like this. Okay, so you don't want to pull it too tightly because you don't want your fabric to pucker. Okay, so what I mean by keeping the lines on the back kind of like in the same as the lines on the front. So if I kind of came over here and did this one, do you see how you can see my thread? Like that. So we're going to keep trying to go back on ourselves so we can kind of hide the lines with the lines that we have on the front. Now, some people like to stitch on 2 pieces of fabric, and it will make it so that it's less likely to see the black marks. But you don't always have to do that. Sometimes if you're just a little bit strategic with where you place your stitches, then that's enough. And there's no like specific route or anything like that. Route, what do you guys say? I'm just going back and forth, making sure that they're nice and straight. I don't want to get that in the middle. There we go. And this is where if you do your lines a little bit wonky, then you can really straighten them up. Excuse me. We're not doing that. If you're new here, Jessie had a big sore on her elbow, and she kept licking it and kept licking it and kept licking it. So we put a little donut on her head so she couldn't lick it anymore. And after like a month of it, it's finally been healed. She doesn't care about it anymore, but every once in a while, she puts her head over there like, hey, there used to be a sore here, I think. And I'm like, nope, we're not going back to that. Yeah, so there's no like set route of like which way to go. Do you know what I mean? As long as the front and the back, you're kind of going over the same lines. Can you see that? So we're trying to keep the same way here. After I finish the top, then I'll be able to put it back in the hoop stand and it won't be so dizzy for you guys. Okay, now once you get around these woven wagon wheel roses, which are the circles, and I actually have an alternative one if you don't want to do the woven wagon wheels, because a couple people have messaged me to say, that's the worst stitch. I can never get it to look right. So what I might do is do 2 woven wagon wheels and then 2 or 3 other stitches, because I have a other version. So once you get around here, we're going to do the same thing we did over here, and that's just put them inside the line a little bit so that our stitches will cover. Okay. Just in a little bit. I treated myself to a hoop stand. It's so much easier. 2 hands. Yes, Zoe. It really is easier. But I think it's like even worse when people stitch live like this, because all you see the whole time is me going like this, and it makes me feel like it's going to make you guys dizzy. Am I going to make it? I'm not going to make it. I'll go this way. Okay, so at the very end, you can tie it off 2 ways. So the first way is to make a little loop. Yeah, put it through. And then I like to take my needle and put it inside the hole, very close to where I want the knot to be. Yeah, and pull, and it makes that go all the way down. Yeah. So now you have a knot that's very, very, very close to your fabric. So you don't want a knot that's all the way out here, because then this stitch here will get really loose. And actually it's quite loose now because I didn't quite get it long enough. See? I could go a little bit more. The other way is to separate the threads. So we've got 3 threads. You can separate them like 2 and 1. And then just tie a knot. Almost like you're going to tie your shoes, but like a double knot. Yeah, so like 1 and 2. Now, some people don't like knots on the back of their embroidery, but for this right here, you kind of need it because I've stopped right in the middle. So I kind of need something there. Yeah, because otherwise this right here will just be flopping up. I know some people will do like a no knot start, and I'll show you how to do that as well. But for right now, I've just got to do this line here, and then I can put it back in my hoop stand and stop making you guys get dizzy. All right. Is it making sense so far? Are we all good? I know I go on a lot about this, and it's that like no 2 hoops are going to look the same. So like if you say, oh, I do it differently than that, then do it differently. That's completely fine. Like you having different colors or like a different style or using different, you know, like knotting it a different way or whatever. It's okay. Okay, so it looks like I need to move mine a little bit, see? Because if I put it down here, then the lines wouldn't match up. So it looks like I need to move it up just a wee bit. We are not going to couch the long stitches later on. Nope. I'm going to keep them just like that. Because they're at the top and we're not going to work on them anymore, they're okay to just stay. Whoops. They're okay to just stay as long stitches. But if it was like on a jacket or a shirt or a bag or something like that, I would definitely say couch them because those long stitches will get caught on everything. So that's why I'm very much like, pick where you want your embroidery to go, what you want it to go on. Yeah, what do you want to do with it? Pick that before you trace it, before you stitch it and everything like that, you know? Because if you later decide that, hey, actually I would like to turn this right here and put it on a jacket, well, all these long stitches are going to be a problem. Yeah. So if you are putting this on a bag, or if you're making it into a banner, or if you're putting it on a t-shirt or something like that, do just short back stitches and fill it in and just be a little bit more careful because this right here is a nice long straight line because we've only used one stitch. But if you use 4 stitches, it might look, you know, a bit like that, like your greenhouse is about to tumble. And that's all right too. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's all right. But I'm just saying because it might happen. Do you know what I mean? All right, so let's see where we are here. It looks like the next one is over here. So I might have to... Let's see if this will work. There we go. So another thing you can do is you can weave your thread up through existing stitches to keep the same line. So I want to come over here and do this little line, but I didn't want to go straight across, you know? And this is all going to be stitched. So you also kind of have to think what things are going to be stitched, what things are not going to be stitched. I'm just going to go straight across there. Because if it's going to be filled with thread, then actually it doesn't really matter, you know, because it's going to be covered up. And again, I'm going to go straight through this. Straight through this one. Because it's not big enough for me to avoid it. At the end of the day, it's a small thing. Clever. Yes, Jamie T. It's been a bit of a morning this morning. Did you guys see the hail and the snow? What is going on with that? I was like, didn't sign up for this. I'm ready for the warm weather, okay? I'm not ready for hail and snow in April. I'm at the end of my spring cold, so everything's looking up, and then hail. My coffee machine broke. It's like, come on, give me a break, guys. Okay, let's see if I made this right. Now, the reason I'm not going in between all of these is because they're just too small. And it's just, you're going to have more opportunities for your stitches to go a little bit not straight. And for this pattern, we kind of want them to be straight. Can't even see where I put them. Where I put my straight lines anymore. Does it go all the way? Have a good day, okay? I think in my excitement, I didn't actually put all the lines in. But that's okay, because we're going to cover a lot of this up. So it won't actually be a big deal. And if you have any questions or anything like that, then just post them. You know, just add it to the comments. I might have to okay, we're getting there. We have almost half of it finished. This makes me so excited when it starts to like, you can kind of see like what it's going to look like. And you're like, oh my God. Oh my gosh, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And like, yes, even me. We're using 3. And if you ever come late, all the videos will be saved. So you can always come back to whatever you've missed, you know? Let's go straight through this here all the way across because all this is going to be filled up. So that's an easy peasy thing. Where would I get a hoop stand? I never seen one before. So I got mine at a charity shop. I know you guys are probably so bored of me saying that, but I like to look there first because a lot of people will get rid of these kinds of things because they think it's like old lady stuff, you know, like, but actually it's really, really useful. You can also look at Cloudcraft. So it's cloud.craft and they have hoop stands. You can also look at Hawthorne Handmade. I believe it's Hawthorne with an E. Yep, Hawthorne Handmade. They have them. I know for a while they were sold out, so you might have to check. But I do know that Cloudcraft has them because I asked her because I was gonna get one for my mom. And then we're gonna end this one right here. Okay, and then the other place you can look, which is not like my favorite place, but you can look on Amazon and they also have them. And they're not exactly the same as these ones here, like this. So mine has, let me just take that brick off. So mine is a lap stand at the bottom. Then you've got the adjustable up and down here. And then you have the adjustable neck here, which goes like out or straight up. And then this here is to turn it. But you can also get them from Amazon or Etsy. They're a little bit different, but they work pretty much the same way. So there's still the lap stand. Oh. I remember on the prep video, someone was like, is that a brick? And I was like, yes. Because I used to have the soup cans. Do you guys remember the soup cans? If you're an OG Stitchalong stitcher, then you'll know the soup cans. And then I always used to knock them over. So embarrassing. So I took the soup cans down. I'm just making a knot over here because I'm finished in this little spot. Then we have to get some more thread and do the middle, and then we'll be done. I'm trying to go a little bit slower for this because it is a little bit tricky. So, you know, I'd rather go a little bit slowly and have you guys understand it and fill it in properly and have it look nice, than just be like, oh, this is so easy, bam, 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 bam. And then you're like, what did you just do? Really confused. So yeah, I'm going a little bit more slowly today. Slower, more slowly. But yeah, just have a look because sometimes, like Like these ones for me, I always get my thread hooked on these, always, and it's so annoying. So some of them, they don't have the bolts like this. They've got like a wooden turn clamp type situation instead. And that's like the one that I gave away in the giveaway before. So yeah, just see what you think might work best for you, basically. Okay, let's start in the middle here and see how far we can get. And if you come to a place where you're like, I can't go farther, like there's nowhere else I can stitch, then just make a knot and start somewhere else. It's really not that big of a deal. Like there's nowhere that says, I'm gonna start here actually, because there's already a knot there. No, there's a knot down here. But there's nowhere in here that says like you have to have all this be one continuous piece of thread. If you have to make a bunch of little, like just one, stop, then just do that. That's okay. Let's see how far we can get with this one. And the other thing to kind of look for is, do you see how these are like parallel lines? If you're making your stitches and you're like, you put one over here, that kind of throws off the illusion that this is like the inside of a house. It's inside of a greenhouse. Do you know what I mean? Or if you put it way down here, it kind of throws off that illusion. So it doesn't have to be perfect, because there's no way you can be, okay? So we're just trying to get it approximate, just about. So I like to lay my thread like this too sometimes. Yeah, and then you can kind of see where you need to put your stitch. Yeah? So I'm not getting a ruler out, like, that's not my vibe, guys. Just try your best. I don't have time to be like measuring and like everything else. That might be a little bit too wonky there. But that's all right. You can just take it out and do it again. Because actually we'll cover that a lot too, so. So you won't actually see that I've like gone a bit too far there, you know? You'll only see that much. And if you don't have gray, I mean black, a gray would work, like a light gray would look really nice too. Or if they've sold out of light gray, or, Tori, they've sold out of black, then you can use light gray or a darker gray. Like it doesn't have to be exactly the same colors, you know? Is there a... Nope. Because I'm using so much thread going back on myself, you know? Sometimes I think, did I just... Is there a big knot back there? Okay. And it looks like... I guess I can add one there if I really wanted to. Looks like there's a line there that I have missed. Good morning, Carrie. Oh, we're almost finished. Let's put this one like right on the edge. Let's see if that will work. Yeah, good. Very good. Okay, it looks like we're just missing this one down here, which I'll probably have to put a knot at the bottom. And then looks like we have one over here. I've just actually noticed two more. So we've got that. Is this a new stitch along? Yes. So this is a free stitch along, and I'm doing it in partnership with Anchor Crafting. So they've got the pattern on their website, and I've got the pattern also in my the link in my bio, which takes you straight to their website. And I'm using only Anchor threads for this. So every single color is in the pattern, and you can use the same color palette that I'm using, or you can go rogue and get your own color palette with your own colors and everything. Both are okay. And yeah, so this is another free stitch along. And I've just noticed, do you see on the sides here? This is supposed to go up on an angle there. So I'm just going to add those in. And then I think we're finished. I think we're done. Maybe even just this little one, but we can always make the outline a little bit bigger, if you know what I mean. Carrie says, are you well? I am, I'm doing good. Every spring when the weather gets warm, I get a stuffy nose, and it's so annoying. And if you remember the Isolate and Create stitch along, back when coronavirus was like brand new and everyone was like, oh, if you have a cough, then you might have coronavirus. And of course, I get a cough with this. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Oh my gosh, do you have it? I was like, nope, every year, I don't know what it is, but every year since I've moved to England, I get this. It's awful. So yeah, that's why I sound like I'm congested. But it's springtime. It's my time, I do live in the UK. She goes, they said, I thought you lived in the US because the accent, but it's 10 a.m. here. So yeah, it's 10 a.m. here too. I moved to the UK in 2015, and I just got my final visa. So I actually don't have to apply anymore. I can stay here forever if I want. I know it might be tree pollen. Someone said they think it might be hay fever, but I thought hay fever lasted like a lot longer, where this is like 2 weeks, done. Oh, I'm just doing another little knot here. Let's put this down so we can get it really close to the edge. Fail, but that's okay. Have you had any snow in Birmingham? We've woken up to a light dusting. Crazy in April. We had a little bit of snow and we had hail. And I was like, what is going on? It's April, guys. Come on. Sort your life out. It's April. There's no snow in April. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think most of the other ones are like hidden, So a good way to check to make sure that you've got it all is just to put your finger along and see if you kind of missed any. So these ones go up like this because it's the ceiling. Yeah. Actually, this is the inside of my house. If you can imagine these being doors, this is how the doors to my outside are. And then I've got 2 windows here. And then I've got a clock right here. So that's how I drew it. So it's the inside of my house. And yeah, just kind of run your finger along and make sure that you haven't missed any little spots or anything like that. And yeah, we're done. We did it. We did it, guys. So that's it from me today. Ow. Okay. Make sure that you are taking your time, doing your best. All right. If it takes longer than a day, it takes longer than a day. All right. We're not on a time schedule here. The stitch along is Monday to Friday for this week and next week, but that doesn't mean you have to finish in that time. Okay, that's just when the instructions are. So if it goes longer, then it goes longer. It's not that big of a deal. Be sure to tag me at the Barmy Fox and Anchor Crafting, because they would love to see your creations, and I'm sure that they'll be reposting what you guys stitch as well. So tag the both of us. You can use the hashtag Anchor Crafting, Anchor Threads, and the Barmy Fox, SALS. Sally, I don't know them. Alpha, laundry. What's the L? Something. SAL. Lots of questions like, I don't have anchor threads yet, or can I use something else? You can use whatever you want. However, I'm not going to be doing any kind of like thread, what's it called? Conversions. Do you know what I mean? Lima, thank you. Like, you guys are on your own if you use a different color. Or a different brand. I'm only going to be using Anchor, and I'm only going to be talking about Anchor because that's who I'm working with. So I'm really excited for it. I hope you guys are excited too. And yeah, check out the hashtags, the Barmy Fox SAL, because that's where most of the people post. And be sure to give some likes and comments on other people's hoops, because that's a big part of this. It's the community. It's not just you stitching at home by yourself. Yeah? We're all in this together. We're all stitching it together. So that's a huge part of it. The very last thing, and I promise I'll go, is that if you have a private profile, which means that if your Instagram is set to private, no matter how many times you tag me, no matter how many times you use the hashtag, no matter how many times you tag Anchor, we can't see it. All right? That's an Instagram thing. So if you're private for whatever reason, which I know there are lots of reasons, and I'm not like, people have reasons for being private, and that's fine. Like, I was private for a long time because I was a teacher and all the kids would try and find me. So I was like, no, we can't be having this. So if you're private, that's completely fine. Consider either making a new account for your stitching if you really want to get involved. You can go off private for just the duration of the stitch along, or you can just DM me pictures. And I'm happy to share them in my profile or in my stories, as long as you're okay with me sharing. But I had someone say, I've posted every day. Maybe she just didn't like mine. And I'm like, but babe, you're private. I can't see it. So I don't want anyone to get upset, and I don't want anyone to feel like they're not like being included. Do you know what I mean? So that's the very last thing. I hope you guys have a lovely Monday. It's a bank holiday here, so we have the day off. Some of us, not me, but some of you. So I hope you have a lovely day. We've done a lot for the first day. So I hope you had a good time. And I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. right here at the Barmy Fox. All right? Have a great day. Bye.